my channel, and today we are going to be ranking every single book that I read in 2025. I read 120 books in 2025, and this is going to be me ranking them from the worst book to the best. There is no tier. We are not tier ranking. I will not be talking about these books in detail because this would be like a 10-hour long video because I am a yapper. I literally would not be able to stop myself. I will just be saying the name, the author, what my rating was, and then we'll move on. If there is a particular book that you have to know why it's so low, why it's so high, what did I think about it, do leave a comment and let me know, because I will be more than happy to tell you. First, we're actually going to talk about the books that I am not rating. These are all memoirs, I believe. There is some other non-fictions that are in this book, but those were usually on a topic, and so I felt it was like, for me, I was like, yeah, I'm giving those a rating because how they addressed such a topic. Where like, are people talking about their own lives, and I don't feel I am in a position to rate that. These are in no particular order. These are not in the ranking, but those are Bottom of the Pyramid by Nia Su, In the Dream House by Carmen Marie Machado, To Know My Name by Chanel Miller. Next up, we have the books that I reread this year. So again, these I feel are not fair to put on the ranking because I reread them. Chances are if I reread them, I loved them. And so it's going to be such a boring list if we get to the top and it's like, yeah, I read this book 3 years ago and I read it again and I loved it still. That is so boring. So we're not including these. All Systems Red by Martha Wells. Artificial Condition by Martha Wells. Rogue Protocol by Martha Wells. Exit Strategy by Martha Wells. Network Effect by Martha Wells. Fugitive Telemetry by Martha Wells. And System Collapse by Martha Wells. And I only reread them once. In previous years I've read them twice, so these only count once. I reread The Rune of Kings by Jen Lyons. The Name of All Things by Jen Lyons. The Memory of Souls by Jen Lyons. The House of Always by Jen Lyons. The Discord of Gods by Jen Lyons. This is also the first year that I actually haven't reread Darker Shade of Magic since I first read it, so that was new for me. I reread Talon Sister by Jen Williams. I also reread A Matter of Execution by Nicholas and Olivia Atwater. And I reread Truth Witch by Susan Dennard and Wind Witch by Susan Dennard. So those are all of my rereads. Next, we will get into the actual ranking. So we're starting at the bottom of the list. All of the 1 and 2 stars will be included in my worst books. I'm not sure will this be going up before or after them, but I will leave it linked down below. Either it's already out and it'll be there, or it will be coming out soon and I'll be there. So all of the 1 and 2 stars, you can hear my opinions on there. And also all of the 5 stars at the very top. I will also have best books and all of those will be included. I only have 1 star, and that is A Night to Surrender by Tessa Dare. Then onto my 2 stars, we have Brigands and Bread Knights by Travis Baldry. Of Jade and Dragons by Amber Chen. To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly X. Chang. Mistress of Lies by K.M. Enright. Brighter Than Scale, Swifter Than Flame by Neon Yang. The Principle of the Moments by Esme Jacemi Pearson. A Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Saft. Faithbreaker by Hannah Kaner. Good Spirits by B.K. Barson. And The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. Then into my 3 stars, we have Adrift Currents Clean and Clear by Shauna Maguire. Voyage of the Damned by Frances White. The World We Make by M.K. Jemison. Everybody Wants to Rule the World Except Me by Django Wexler. The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. A Time of Courage by John Gwynne. The Phoenix Keeper by S.A. McLean. The Twisted Ones by T. Kingfisher. The Goddess of the River by Vaishnavi Patel. The Song Rising by Samantha Shannon. Magnus Chase and the Ship of the Dead by Rick Riordan. The Emily Adventures by Martha Wells. Magnus Chase and the Sword of Summer by Rick Riordan. The Sirens by Amelia Hart. A Biography of Resistance. A Time of Dread. Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. Magnus Chase and the Hammer of Thor by Rick Riordan. Crucible of Chaos by Sebastian D. Castell. The River Has Roots by Amal El Motar. Mirrored Heavens by Rebecca Rowanhorse. Golden Hand by Garth Nix. A Steeping of Blood by Hosfa Faisal. Titan Child by Jen Williams. A Time of Blood by John Gwynne. The Fires of Vengeance by Evan Winter. The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. Clariel by Garth Nix. The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. Feybound by Sarah Arifi. Watermoon by Samantha Soto Yambao. The Haunting of Tramcar 015 by P. Jelly Clark. The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison. The Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. Eidolon by Grace Draven. Lyriel by Garth Nix. A Master of Djinn by P. Jelly Clark. Dragonflight by Anne McCaffrey. The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. The Tomb of Dragons by Catherine Addison. Those are all of my 3 stars. So then we are into our 4 stars. Abhorsen by Garth Nix. Disney High by Ashley Spencer. The Woman They Could Not Silence by Kate Moore. Terciel and Eleanor by Garth Nix. What Feasts at Night by T. Kingfisher. What Stalks the Deep by T. Kingfisher. The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. Cursebound by Sarah Ella Reefy. Red City by Marie Lu. The Executioners 3 by Susan Dennard. Wrath by John Gwynne. What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. The Five by Hallie Rubenhold, Heir of Novron by Michael J. Sullivan, Rune by John Gwynne, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot, Valor by John Gwynne, The Story of a Murder by Hallie Rubenhold, Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales by Heather Fawcett, The Raven Boys, a graphic novel by Maggie Stiefvater, Stephanie Williams and Saz Millage. This and the next one, they are adaptations of books that I read, so I did count them in the ranking because they are different. Assassin's Apprentice Volume 1 by Robin Hobb, Jody Hauser, Ryan Kelly, Jordi Belair, Hassan Otsman Elau, Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber, Dragon Singer by Anne McCaffrey, Malice by John Gwynne. Brief intervention. This is the only book here that I will talk about really. This is actually a reread, which as we saw earlier, I don't include rereads, but I like this so much more the second time around that I thought it was only fair. I gave it a 4-star also on the first time, but it was way lower in the ranking. Whereas this year, I reread it and something clicked. So this, I had to re-rank it. So this is the only reread that is ranked. You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry, The Lightborn by Rebecca Zahabi, The Copper Promise by Jen Williams, The Iron Ghost by Jen Williams, Echoes of the Imperium by Nicholas and Olivia Atwater, Calabasas by Arif Kwang, Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green, The Geographer's Map to Romance by India Holton, The Art of Destiny by Wesley Chu, Court of Wanderers by Rin Chapeko, The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love by India Holton, Dragon Song by Anne McCaffrey, and my highest rated 4-star of the year, The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. So that then brings me on to the 5 stars. So these are the best books of the year. As I said, if you want my full opinion on these, I will have a best of 25 video out either before this or after this, and I will leave it linked. The Summer War by Naomi Novik, A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross, Sorcery and Small Magics by Maiga Ducey, Quartet by Leah Broad, Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, The Radium Girls by Kate Moore, Funny Story by Emily Henry, A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow, and then in first position, my number 1 book of 25, Assassin's Fate by Robin Hobb. So there we have it, every single book that I read in the entirety of 25. I feel like usually I have a much larger stack behind me, which I think goes to show that I'm being more responsible with the way I'm reading, the way I'm buying books, because I haven't unhauled any books. A lot of those were library books and Everand. So I think this really goes to show that I've gotten a lot better about buying books. Also considering like 90% of this stack is rereads. So we only really have like 2 full stacks. So not too bad. I have a lot more usually. But yeah, so those were every single book that I read this year. What did you think of the ranking? Is there something you're very disappointed in me for? Should I be sorry about something? Let me know. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.